Hi, this is Mr. Tush, Global Communications Academy, and this is a video reviewing for the midterm and particularly for the performance task number 1, the spreadsheet performance task. And the best way to do this is to go to the mrtush.com website, as you always do, and go to the Exploring Computer Science link. That will bring up the site for Exploring Computer Science. And our midterm review is right here. And all of the other midterm pieces that we've talked about are right here, but today we're going to deal with performance task number 1, the spreadsheet basics. And you see right here, I've given you a sample site that looks very much like what you're going to see. You click this link right here. When you do, it's going to bring up the practice midterm. And I'm just going to warn you right now that the midterm itself is going to look an awful lot like this. So if you practice doing this task, you're going to do real well in the final task, because I can't help you in the midterm, but I can at least show you how and let you review and practice these performance tasks before you have to do it for real. Now, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to read the instructions. It says go to File and choose Make a Copy. So I'm going to go to File and choose Make a Copy. And then it says, name it last name, first name, midterm 1. So it's Tush, Mr. Midterm 1. And it will throw it in your Google Drive. And then that's one of the first things you'll have to do. And look, your directions will come back in with it. Don't worry about it. And then make sure the next thing you do is share it to tushclass@gmail.com. You go up to Share right here. And in here, you put in my email, tushclass@gmail.com. It should come up with that Mr. Tush logo. Click Send. Click Send. All right? So you're going to take a minute now. I'm going to cancel this. You're going to click Send. And I want you to take a minute now and do that. Stop the video and then try to restart when you're all done. So do what you were just asked to do and then restart. All right, here we are. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create filters for all the columns. Well, we might want to make things a little bit easier to read. So if you remember what we did, we went to the top row and we made them all bold-faced. We clicked the 1 and clicked bold, and that made them all bold. And if you remember, if you click in between each row, you see if you hover on this, that'll move everything over so you can see what's there. As a matter of fact, if I select all of them and I click right at the column, it'll auto-adjust everything so I can see it. And you might want to freeze the first row. Now remember, these are rows, these are columns, just like we talked about in class. But over here in this first row, you're going to go to View, Freeze, one row. You click on that, and now as I scroll all the way through this, I can see everything that I need to see. So I've created to create filters for all the columns. I'm looking for this filter right here, this thing that says filter, and I'm clicking it. And that's really all I have to do to make this work. I click filter. Now wait, it made this a little harder to read. I can double click here, and it'll fix for all of my columns. If I double click on the line at the very top in between the letters, it'll straighten out my columns so they're nice and easy to read. Let's tell you to stop right now, try what you just saw, and then restart the video. So that part is step 1. Just do that and then come back and restart the video. Okay, now we're back. The next thing it says is determine the average of the 4 classes down to 2 digits. And I kind of gave you a little bit of a help here in the yellow cells. So each child's average of the 4 classes. So we want to see how Dixie Luna did in English, math, computer science, science, and social studies. To do that, I'm going to go right in here to this first line. And I'm going to tell the spreadsheet to do math by pressing equals. So there is equals. And then as you can see, it actually lets me choose average. I can start typing average, and you'll see that average is the option that comes up. Once I click it, I've actually pulled up the average formula. So I'm using the formulas, and I'm going to tell equals tells it to do math. I'm going to type the word average to call it the average formulas. And the next thing it's looking for is a range. You see it's a series of cells. To get a range, I'm going to click and drag through the the 5 subjects. So I click, drag, 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 and let go. Now, it's got an open parentheses, and it says D2 through H2. It says D2, E2, F2, G2, H2. And this little column says colon, there's 2 dots, says everything between D2 and H2. I'm going to hit Shift, close parentheses, and I'm going to hit Return. And look what it does. It actually gives me an average. I'll do that again so you can see it. Hit equals, type average. Just as I start typing it, the word average comes up. A bunch of other ones do. Average if A, if S. Use the one that just says average. And then I pick my subjects, my little range of cells, close the parentheses, and there we go. And it gives me an average. Again, equal, average, pick my range of cells, all the subjects and only the subjects, and close parentheses. Now, that is a great thing, except that I've got, goodness gracious, 100 names. I'm going to be here all day. Well, you don't have to be. You do something called fill down. Click on the most recent average and drag this little handle right down here. And what it will do is it will carry the formula down the row. Now I'll do that again. It went a little fast. I click on the bottommost one, look here to this cell, look here to this little handle, this little blue dot in the bottom right hand corner. Click, drag down. If I go down beyond the edge of the screen, it will let me drag all the way down the sheet. As I do, I will go beyond and I'll slide back up. I've still got my mouse button down. Holding the mouse button down until I know it's this group that I want to select, and I'm doing that. I'm letting go, and there you go. That is the average for every student. I'll undo that because that went kind of fast for you, okay? I go to my downmost average, grab the blue handle, press, hold and drag. I've still got the button down. I'm dragging this whole range. You see that when I'm beyond it, I can keep the button down and adjust and aim. When I'm sure this is what I want, I let go, and it fills down. So that is the step 3. What I want you to do now is I want you to stop the video, try doing just the averages, and then restart the video. Now finally, let's take a look at where we are. We have to do an average class performance for each subject using the orange cells. So the average class performance for each subject using the orange cells. So this is where averages for English, so for each subject, we do an average for English, an average for math, average for computer science, for social studies, a number of absence, or that's all I need, sorry, those 5. So an average for each subject. Well, here's what we're going to do. Type under the bottom row of English, equals, average. You see average comes up. And then you see how we get this thing, it's a little on the way. You can make it go away by clicking minimize. And I'm going to select the entire column. And you see as I do, it actually goes into English. If I keep my button down, I can adjust what I'm selecting as long as my mouse button is down. I've clicked from D2 through D101. You see if you look up here, it gives you D2 through D101. D2 through all the way down here, D101. I'm going to hit Shift, close parentheses, to end it, and there we go. That's my average. So I'll do that one more time. Equals, average. Then click my entire range. I'm clicking down and I'm dragging. You notice that if I go over here, I pick too much, but then I can slide back. If I pick over here, I pick too much, but I slide back. And I go right up to the top. I over-selected, so I just keep the button down until I've aimed everything I want. I know it's exactly what I want. And now I'm going to let go. And I let go of my button, and then I'm going to click and put an end parentheses in my range, and there is my average. Finally, I could do that for all 3 of these, and again, we talked about how tedious that is. But remember when we did fill down? Over here, you can do fill across. Watch this. Grab my little blue handle, drag to the right, and there you go. Wait, that happened kind of fast. Watch again. I click on the blue handle, drag to the right, and it puts in the averages for you. That's all you need to know. Stop the video, try what you just saw, and then restart the video. So let's take a look at what's next. Create a bar chart showing average performance in each subject. Well, we already have average performance in each subject. We know English is a 76, math is a 75, computer science is a 93. We already have this. So let's make ourselves a little table. And the table is easy to make. We're going to have subject, we're going to have an average, right? And the subject is going to be English, math, computer, science, social studies. And then we're going to put the average for each. Now the average for English, as we can see, you look under the English column because we froze our columns, the average for English is 76. Well, I could type a 76 in here and that would be perfectly valid. But I'm going to show you the easier way to do it. I'm going to tell this cell to take whatever is in English. So I'm going to click equals, and that's it. All I got to do. I'm going to say for math, take the math cell, return. Computer science, take the computer science cell, return. Science, take the science cell, return. Social studies, take the social studies cell, return. And that's all I need to do. To make it a little easier to read, I'm going to select these two and I'm going to go up here and hit the bold sign so you can see everything here, and it's pretty straightforward. This is average for each subject for across the grade. Now, it says, what does it tell me to do? I think it wants a bar chart showing the average performance in each subject. Well, to make a bar chart, I'm going to select my chart and go Insert, Chart. And there it is. It will probably default to a bar chart. But just in case, or a column chart is another way to put it. Technically, a bar is going to be sideways, but I'm fine with this being a bar chart, a column chart right here. Column chart is fine, a bar chart is fine. As long as I get this kind of a chart, if it goes sideways or if it goes like this, this is, up and vertically, this is fine. And this is a clear average of each subject. So stop the video and try what you just saw, and then restart the video. And now here we are in our last step. And in our last step, it says, create a pie chart showing how many students are in each grade. The COUNTIF was done for you at the bottom. Now, this is a complicated formula. It took us a long time. But what this does is, if you remember, this is the COUNTIF that goes through this entire grade list and counts all the number 9s. So there are 13 grade 9 kids. This counts the grade column for the number 10, and there are 10 sophomores, 41 juniors, and 16 seniors. And what it asks for is it asks for a pie chart. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to select this, Insert, Chart. Now, it gave me, under students versus grade, and I'll move it down here so we can see it, just click and drag, and it'll just move. It gave me another bar chart, and I wanted, if you look at the directions say a pie chart right here. How many students are in each grade in a pie chart? And that's students in each grade for a bar chart. So what I'm going to do, number of students versus grade, I'm going to say number of students in each grade. I'm going to rename it, number of students in each grade. And then over here under Chart Editor, I'm going to change my chart style. So I go to Data, and this is the type of chart. And right here, I've got my many different choices. I could pick a bunch of different things. It gives me tons of choices. What I actually want to do is I'm going to pick a pie chart. That's a beautiful and fairly simple pie chart. But realize that if I want to customize my pie chart, I could have a little bit of fun with this. Under Chart Style, I could make it 3D. That kind of turns it sideways. I could go in and change my colors. I don't have to do that right now for the exam, but this is pretty straightforward. I could change my labels. I could do a lot of things to this, but right now I'm just looking that you can use this chart to create this, this table, I misspoke, to create this chart right there. And then I'm going to go back one last time before I hand in my exam. I'm going to read my directions. Did I make a copy? Does it have my name? It does. Have I shared? I'll double check the sharing. And of course, I'd have to share it by doing that. And I'm going to create filters. I did. So I had to determine the average of the 4 classes down to 2 digits. This is actually down to no digits. It's fine. Determine the average class performance for each subject. Right down here. And then I have to do a bar chart with the average performance right here. And a pie chart with the number of students in each grade. Looks like I follow the directions, and I'm done. I hope that helps, and thank you for watching.